Coming up on Cronkite News tonight, Arizona is expanding fire restrictions across the state in response to dry weather. And later, the highly transmissible Delta variant is present in Arizona, the best way to protect yourself from the contagious strain. And coming up on Break It Down, the significant lack of women of color in corporate America.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Kimberly Silverio Bautista. Thank you for joining us. Today, fire restrictions will be increased from Stage 1 to Stage 2 on Bureau of Land Management, or BLM lands in Phoenix District due to dry and hot conditions. Gila District in southern and eastern Arizona is already under Stage 2 restrictions. Restrictions under Stage 2 prohibit building or using a fire, smoking outdoors, discharging a firearm, or welding, among others. It is recommended you check your car for dragging chains or deflated tires before driving as well. Many wildfires are human-caused and can be prevented. That's why the Bureau has more restrictions when there is a drought. Spokesperson for BLM, Dolores Garcia, says following these restrictions is important to Arizona's safety.
Do these checks. It's up to each and every one of us to prevent wildfires, especially as we head into our hottest and driest points of the year, and with the expectation of dry lightning in the coming week, adding that natural cause factor in addition to the human cause factor, there is a lot of potential, and our firefighters need the help.
If the restrictions are not followed, they will conduct an investigation, which can result in a fine or imprisonment. They recommend you check the restrictions in your area so you can know before you go. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich officially announced his Senate campaign Thursday, joining the race as a favorite in a somewhat crowded field of Republicans. The GOP is looking to unseat incumbent District Senator Mark Kelly in 2022. Brnovich was elected as a top law enforcement official for Arizona in 2014, but former President Donald Trump has already lined up against him for, quote, doing little to audit the 2020 Arizona election results despite no evidence of fraud. Others joining in the Senate race are Major General Michael McGuire and Jim Layman. Even though the Arizona legislature reconvened yesterday, there are little signs the budget talks will get anywhere. After adjourning for 2 weeks, the Senate held only a pro forma session before adjourning again until Monday. The House followed a similar path when one Republican joined Democrats in rejecting parts of the budget. Senate Majority Leader Rick Gray says it's not a surprise the talks are so divided due to the budget surplus. The current budget proposal has a $1.9 billion tax cut. G7 world leaders are expected to donate 1 billion COVID-19 vaccines worldwide. The pledge comes ahead of the conference for presidents and prime ministers, which begins in the UK today. Leaders are expected to commit those doses to end the pandemic of 2022. The UK announced it will donate at least 10 million within the next year, with 80% going to the UN-backed COVAX initiative. It comes shortly after the U.S. pledged to donate 500 million doses of Pfizer vaccines worldwide.
The United States will purchase 500 million doses of Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine to donate to nearly 100 nations that are in dire need in the fight against this pandemic. That's a historic step, the largest single purchase and donation of COVID-19 vaccines by any single country ever.
The Delta variant is being reported in Arizona. TGen found and sequenced the variants in their labs. However, data shows the best way to limit the spread of the variant is to get fully vaccinated. Reports from the UK show the Pfizer vaccine is about 88% effective against the Delta variant. But that is with both doses. A single dose grants only about a 30% efficacy rate against it. Dr. Anthony Fauci talks about preventing the variant from becoming the dominant strain in the U.S.
That there are two ways to approach boosting. One is boosting against the original wild type for which a person was originally vaccinated, and the other is a variant-specific boost. We are approaching both of those, but the one thing that we are noticing that's important is that the higher your degree of immune response against the wild type, the greater the secondary coverage you have against a wide array of variants.
No shipments of Johnson & Johnson's coronavirus vaccine have gone out from the federal government in several weeks because the one-shot vaccine is in short supply. The shortage is directly linked to issues at the Emergent Biosolutions plants in Baltimore. The facility has struggled with contamination problems, and it still hasn't produced a single usable dose of J&J's vaccine as it awaits regulatory approval from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. According to an official, the government has not sent any dose of the J&J vaccine to states since the first week of May. Stick around for more Cronkite news. We'll be right back after this.
Watch Arizona PBS any way you want, on air and online. Download the PBS video app to stream your favorite PBS programs anytime you want. And you can even watch Arizona PBS live, wherever you are, right from our website at azpbs.org. Don't forget about all your favorite PBS Kids shows, too, on the PBS Kids video app. Watch Arizona PBS, your way today. Take a journey with Arizona PBS. Join us every Sunday afternoon for Destination Drama. Watch all your favorite PBS dramas like Grantchester.
I'm William Davenport, new vicar of Grantchester.
Poldark.
Nothing in my life has meaning without you.
And Victoria.
I know that I'm young, but I know my duty.
And if you missed a recent primetime drama, we'll help you catch up on those too. Destination Drama. Every Sunday afternoon at 1. Only on Arizona PBS.
This month in Passport, your on-demand library of the best of PBS.
Everyone has secrets. Are you protecting someone?
I have no choice.
You do have a choice. You're looking at him.
That's amazing. We could be standing on top of a T-Rex right now.
Women demanded new space and pushed the boundaries of what being a lady means.
These and other shows are available with Passport. Become a member of this PBS station, sign in, and start streaming today.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing. Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. You know, I don't go anywhere without my passport. And now, thanks to PBS Passport, you can travel with me and watch all 10 seasons of Rick Steves Europe and all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today and get your passport.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Stream the best of PBS on any device with the PBS Video app. All your favorite drama, history, science, news, and documentaries, all in one place. Watch your PBS station live or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and locally produced shows from your station.
Sign in and start streaming today.
And now we'll take a look back at some of the top stories of the week, including a new law that now allows the use of drug testing strips.
Opioid overdose deaths in Arizona increased by 34% in 1 year. Fentanyl is considered a synthetic opioid that can be 50 to 100 times stronger than morphine. Faith Abercrombie followed up on the new legalization of fentanyl drug testing strips.
From October 2019 to October 2020, the CDC reported synthetic opioid deaths increasing by 93% in Arizona. The synthetic opioid fentanyl is often unknowingly laced in other drugs. There are a number of efforts to combat deaths due to a fentanyl overdose, including drug analysis strips. Up until May, the distribution of these strips was illegal in Arizona, but now a new law is giving hope to people trying to prevent more deaths.
It is, as I suspected, a very clear positive for fentanyl.
Within minutes, a fentanyl test strip showed these street drugs are laced with the potent synthetic.
We see it being mixed into stimulants like cocaine and methamphetamine, and fentanyl is a completely different effect on the body.
This test was not always legal. In 2019, when we first met Kathy, she was handing test strips out with a harm reduction group.
If for some reason some policeman comes to me and said, whatever you're doing is illegal, I would say, fine, take me to jail.
Today, thanks to a number of laws signed by Governor Ducey in May, these strips, along with clean needles and syringes, can legally be distributed.
Take me to jail. Just go take me to jail. It's like, oh my God, did I say that? But that's what I felt. You know, everybody deserves a life.
Even though these items are now legal, the stigma still exists. Kathy is a harm reduction volunteer who asked us not to show her face.
My initial reason for even looking into this was because a family member became addicted to opiates after he was prescribed.
I never dreamed I would be trapped in something like this.
Kathy's son Justin was prescribed opiates after breaking both of his wrists. The initial prescription led to further drug use.
When I started getting sick because I didn't have them, I didn't even understand why. I had no idea. So then when they took me off the Dilaudids, I'm still getting sick, so now I have to buy them off the street.
Justin and other harm reduction advocates say the legalization of these strips could have the potential of changing and possibly saving someone's life.
Harm reduction is just a basic human right. And because there's so much stigma around drug use, people don't think about it as a human right. But it is.
According to a study done by Johns Hopkins, about 70% of drug users would change their behavior if they knew fentanyl was present. In the studio, Faith Abercrombie, Cronkite News.
Isn't just hard on human residents of the state. Rob Winder reports on the drought's effects on rattlesnakes and your chances of being bitten by one.
If you find an unwelcome guest of the long, scaly, and limbless variety in your yard, Joe Himes of the Phoenix Herpetological Sanctuary can help.
We get about 300 calls every year from all over the valley asking us to come out and remove those rattlesnakes.
In this unusually dry year, Himes says rattlesnakes have been especially prevalent in places where they might be able to get a drink.
Yesterday I went out to a school that has only been closed about 5 days, and there was a rattlesnake sipping up water from a faucet that was leaking out in the playground.
But the popular notion that we will see more snake bites because of the drought is a myth. That's according to a 2018 Stanford medicine study, which found that snake bite incidents in California were actually lower during periods of drought there. ASU Life Science professor Dale Donardo says that's because snakes don't move around as much during these dry periods.
They're ectotherms, they don't produce their own heat, they get heat from the environment, they have very low energy costs, so they can basically stay down in a burrow and say, hey, I'm gonna wait till it rains, I have enough energy to survive. If I go to the surface to look for food or try and hunt food, I may dehydrate in that process, whether I find food or not.
Summer is not peak snakebite season in Arizona anyway, but there are certain times of the day when you still need to be careful.
They're out when it's cool out. And so during the summers, when it's really hot during the day, when we hit 105 or higher, you're less likely to see snakes out and about in the morning, but you will see them out and about at night when it cools off.
But regardless of rainfall levels or the time of day, there's one thing about rattlesnake behavior that doesn't change.
Just remember that rattlesnakes don't want to hurt you.
In Scottsdale, Rob Winder, Cronkite News.
Himes says if you do encounter a rattlesnake in your yard, keep a safe distance, which is at least 3 feet away, and call a professional for removal. If you happen to get bit, the Arizona Poison and Drug Information Center says do not apply a tourniquet or ice to the bite. Do not suck out the venom or cut around the bite, and do go to a hospital immediately.
Having multiple athletic trainers at one high school is a luxury for most schools in the Valley. But for one Phoenix high school, they're hoping it becomes the standard. Reporter Zachary Larson tells us why Sandra Day O'Connor High School has one of the top sports medicine programs in Arizona.
At Sandra Day O'Connor High School, you'll find a sports medicine program that rivals facilities at the college level.
Nothing really compares to here at Sandra Day O'Connor. We have $1 million facility because of our CTE program.
The addition of the Career and Technical Education program and a partnership with Grand Canyon University has allowed the school to receive grants to expand, with over 300 students participating.
This whole athletic training facility and 2 classrooms were built on because the program had grown so much.
It has given students like senior Elise Skeeters an opportunity to gain real experience as those at GCU hope to train at Sandra Day O'Connor.
I've learned that a lot of them actually request to come here because of our athletic trainers, obviously, the facility that we have.
Whether you need tape for an ankle or ice for an injury, having 3 athletic trainers here is a rarity at the high school level.
It's crazy that there's 3 athletic trainers at one high school. You will not find that many places.
Not only are the athletic trainers here to help athletes, they are all full-time teachers as well.
It can be a 12 to 15 hour day. It does help that there's 3 of us here because then we won't burn out so much.
Despite the grueling hours, it's becoming more important for schools to have an athletic trainer on staff.
I think it's important to have an athletic trainer all the way down to 2A schools. You never know when that catastrophic event is going to happen.
With nearly 1/3 of high schools in the United States not having access to an athletic trainer, the school hopes more will follow in their lead. In Phoenix, Zachary Larson, Cronkite News.
Not only do students get the hands-on experience of working with athletes, they also have the opportunity to earn college credits while taking their sports medicine classes.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.